One of the things that sort of quietly blows my mind lately is how much the Central Coast has changed. It's not that dramatic, big city, fast growth kind of way, because that's not at all who we are. But more in subtle ways that actually make life here a little bit easier. If I look back 40 years ago to when I was a kid, the change is crazy. But what I want to talk about today is the more recent and upcoming gradual changes and how life and lifestyle will feel in 2026. From flights and highways to brand new communities coming online. And over the next year or two, there are a handful of upgrades and new developments that are worth knowing about if you're planning a move to San Luis Obispo County. Let's start with the airport. The San Luis Obispo County Regional Airport has changed more in the last 5 to 7 years than it did in the 20 years before that. And those changes are still happening. We now have non-stop flights to Seattle, Denver, Dallas, Portland, Phoenix, San Diego, LA, San Francisco, and of course, Vegas. And these aren't random once-a-week flights. They're consistent year-round routes that make coming and going from SLO way, way easier. And for a lot of people moving here, that's huge. They want a slower pace, but not total isolation. They want vineyard views and beach weather, but still need to see family or check in with the headquarters once in a while. So even though our airport feels small and local, the connectivity just keeps expanding. And over the next couple of years, we'll see more route frequency and more reliability, which makes it that much easier to plant roots here long term. Okay, now let's talk highways, and specifically Highway 46. If you've ever driven between Paso Robles and the Central Valley, you know exactly why this matters so much. Highway 46 has been going through a long multi-year widening project, converting it from a 2-lane road that honestly felt like a freaking death trap at times. Now it's going to turn into a much safer, more predictable 4-lane expressway. The final major segment, I think, is expected to wrap up in around spring 2026. Now, even if you rarely drive that direction, it still matters. When a region becomes easier to reach, it becomes easier to live in. Travel time improves, safety improves, and the whole North County corridor is feeling less remote. I personally make that trip out to I-5 for my kids' sports pretty regularly, and the difference feels like night and day to me. When that final stretch is finished, Paso, Templeton, and Atascadero become even more viable for anyone who wants space and sunshine without feeling super far away. Okay, now speaking of North County, let's talk new construction in Paso Robles. Paso is already known for wine, hillsides, and that warm, sunny lifestyle. But right now it's also becoming one of the most active new home markets in the entire county. And for buyers who want something newer, especially anyone who's done with fixer-uppers and remodel surprises, Paso is becoming one of the best options. The biggest project driving that is Vinedo, a 350-plus acre master plan community in southeast Paso. And this isn't just some streets with houses. It's miles of trails, open space corridors, multiple parks, and a planned pool and recreation center, all designed around outdoor living and that slower Paso pace. Inside Vinedo, you have a few different neighborhoods. Nevina is a 55-plus active adult neighborhood, and it's already selling. People are buying in there right now. These are modern single-level designs, low-maintenance layouts, and they plug right into the walking trails and parks. If you want simplicity and community, Nevina hits the mark. Then you've got Morada at Vinedo, which is expected to launch hopefully early 2026. Morada will not be an age-restricted neighborhood. It'll offer a mix of modern single-level and 2-story layouts, clean, energy-efficient designs, medium-sized lots. If you want all the amenities Vinedo will offer, but you're not in a rush, Morada is the one to keep an eye on. Now, because Vinedo is a true master plan community, every neighborhood inside it will have an HOA, and there will be a mellow roost attached, depending on the plan you choose. The exact numbers can vary quite a bit, so you definitely want to verify when you tour. Right next door is another part of the master plan. It's called Mirabella, and it's built by K. Hovnanian. Mirabella is also already selling, and it offers a simpler take on new construction. Modern floor plans, clean interiors, and a more traditional neighborhood feel. There's no age restrictions. There's an HOA of about $240 per month. And again, you'll see a Mellow Rouge assessment. I think it's probably like around 0.5%. So just like Vinedo, it's important to look closely at the total monthly and annual carrying cost for the exact home you're considering. And I actually just spoke with our contact, Courtney, this morning. And she mentioned a couple of builder incentives that I want to pass along. On select homes, they're offering a 6% credit or a 3.99% interest rate through their own lender on some of the properties, and you have to be able to close by the end of January. Also, something to note is that homeowners insurance is much more doable out there since everything is so new and up to speed on new regulations that are coming into effect, it seems like on the daily. Okay, and then we have the reserve at River Oaks. That's up near the hot springs and the golf course. I won't go deep into it because I don't work that neighborhood directly, but it's part of the bigger picture in Paso. Newer homes, larger lots, and that tucked away, quiet luxury feel that people really like. Oh, and then lastly, you have the long-term Beechwood Specific Plan, which is another 200+ acre community approved for homes, parks, trails, and small-scale commercial. Construction there hasn't fully begun, but it's coming. And it shows how Paso is thinking long-term about housing and growth. Okay, when you put all this together, Paso Robles is becoming the new construction hub of San Luis Obispo County. If you've looked around for anything modern under $1 or $1.5 million, you know how rare that is elsewhere, anywhere in the community. Now Paso is one of the few places where you can get something brand new, well-planned, and still stay within a reasonable budget. Okay, now let's come back toward the city of SLO proper, because change is happening there too, of course. You've got San Luis Ranch and Avila Ranch, both steadily releasing new phases. These neighborhoods are walkable, bikeable, close to downtown, and offer a mix of modern designs, parks, and open space. They work really well for people who want new construction, but still want to be just 10 minutes away from everything SLO has to offer. Then you've got Rigetti on the south side of town. It's grown quickly, and it's one of the more thoughtfully laid out communities in SLO. Parks, views, trail connections, and easy access to Orcutt Road and all the Edna Valley wineries. Okay, so what does all this mean if you're planning a move here? When you combine the expanded flight options, the highway improvements, and the wave of new home communities coming online, SLO County is becoming more accessible, more connected, and easier to live in, while still keeping the slower pace and natural beauty people move here for in the first place. These changes definitely affect everyday life. Commute times, travel convenience, price points, and which towns end up being the right match for your lifestyle. And if you want help sorting all that out, whether you're comparing neighborhoods, timing your move, or figuring out if new construction fits your goals, well, that's exactly what I do. I'm in these areas every week, watching how they're evolving and helping people find the perfect fit. So if you're curious, reach out, and I'm happy to help you understand what these changes might mean for you and how to line up your move so the Central Coast feels like home from day one. See you in the next video.